Alright, well, what a pile of paquette that was. Jeez. That second period, 20 minutes felt like 6 hours. It felt like 6 hours! But relax, right? It's just a preseason game. It didn't mean jack diddly squat. So, let's review what we saw, shall we? But first, if you guys are a fan of the Habs, or just this meme here that I saw on Reddit last night, that was great, then please consider subscribing to my channel as I upload a ton of hockey content and would really enjoy having some more of you grasshoppers tag along for the ride. Now, first things first here, let's just get the Tiger right out of the cage. The Leafs won the game, 4-1. Alright, yes, the game meant nothing, but yes, it still feels like a half a dozen mosquito bites to the ball sack because we lost to the friggin' Leafs. So, what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take a look at both lineups, and I'll tell you who I noticed, and then I'm gonna tell you who I didn't notice. Okay? And Shazam, here we go. This was the Habs lineup during the game last night. The first line for the Habs was Nick Suzuki between Tyler Toffoli and their little bundle of joy, Cole Caulfield, who could have scored about 11 goals last night, but the coach told him, hey, let's go easy, it's the first game, it's the preseason, we don't want to embarrass anyone here, just kidding. Now this line had a lot of missed opportunities, holy shit. They looked like they needed a little more WD-40 sprayed on their arms and legs just to get the joints going. And I'm sure Ducharme is at Canadian Tire right now buying a whole bunch of WD-40. Now Tyler Toffoli would save the day and score the lone goal for the Habs during this game. Compliments of a breakaway. I took this picture of him here while he's sitting on the bench, kind of pondering about life. And he's got that look on his face like, oh my god, this is it? Am I alone here? Can somebody give me some help? Anyway, I think the line played a very average game, okay? That's all I'm going to say about these guys. Line number 2, we had Ryan Poehling between Arturi Lehkonen and Laurent Dauphin. I always wanted to do that. Now, personally, I didn't really notice Dauphin a whole lot, which isn't always a bad thing. Lehkonen was Lehkonen, and Poehling looked kind of sluggish in the first 2 periods, but he did have a better third period. Line number 3, we had Cedric Paquette between Matthew Perreault and Alex Belzile. I thought Paquette tried to play a bit of a physical game. He did take a boneheaded penalty on a shift where he took a bit of a nasty hit. So yeah, the feistiness was there. Paquette is kind of like having a shih tzu with a temper. He's an ankle biter. Perreault looked okay, and Belzile looked like, well, Belzile. Line number 4, we had Jean-Christophe Bodin centering Brandon Baddock, who sounds like a type of a fish, and Lucas Vedemo. And I'm not going to lie, other than providing a physical presence and Baddock getting into a scrap, I didn't really see a whole lot of anything from these guys. As for the defenseman, I felt like Fairbrother looked good. He made some nice passes and threw some nice hits. And Brett Kulak also didn't look too shabby out there, huh? The old Kool-Aid man. As for 2 guys that I thought stunk out the joint, I'm going to pick Ouellette and Jakai, or whatever the hell his name is. They didn't really have a good game at all, and I'd try and learn how to pronounce this guy's name, but I feel like this could be one of the last times I ever have to say it, so I'm not going to waste my energy on that. As for the goaltending, Primo definitely had a rough start, man. But it's just one game, and McNiven did look better during this small sample size of half a preseason game. McNiven actually made some pretty big saves, and I think he earned another start. Anyway, that was a bad one. That was a bad showing for the Habs. And when this video is done, I don't ever want to talk about this game again. Now, moving on to the Maple Leafs. Here is the Leafs lineup that we seen last night, and if you're a fan of the Leafs, I'm going to let you know who I thought was a standout. First up, Tavares, Nylander, and Muzzin, these guys all showed up and they played good. But 2 guys here that I'd be really impressed with if I was a Leaf fan, which I'm not, is Curtis Gabriel and Joshua Ho-Sang. Because Curtis Gabriel was arguably one of the most noticeable players on the ice last night. Every time he was out there, you noticed him. He looked gassed all the time. He scored a goal. He threw some massive hits every opportunity he had. And he got into a fight with our fish, Baddock, huh? And you gotta respect a guy like this because he knows that he's gotta do things to get noticed. You know what I mean? This guy is gonna get noticed in a game like this no matter what he's gotta do. He's gonna bite the head off a bird to get the coach's attention. As for Ho-Sang, I thought he looked good too. I heard right after the game he asked the coach if he could wear number 99 for next game. I'm just kidding, I made that part up. But he looked good, and I think he's gonna crack the team. That's my hot take on Joshua Ho-Sang. Now overall, I felt like the big difference tonight was that the Leafs regular NHLers that played during the game last night looked more prepared and more involved than the Habs regular NHL players that were in their lineup. Now you might disagree, but that is what I saw with these crazy eyes. But again, preseason game number 1, so take a deep breath. Anyway guys, that does it for this video. Share your thoughts down there in the little comment section. Let me know your first impressions on some of these players. And hey, I'll see you next time.